Hey, what's going on guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at Jonathan Hickman's Avengers Omnibus Volume 1. Before we do that though, if you like the content I put out on my channel, please subscribe or leave a comment below letting me know that. I would really appreciate that. And now, without further ado, let's take a look at the book. Here is the cover of the book, which is being reprinted later in December this year, by the way. Here is the spine of the book. I'm showing you 1 and 2 together because, as you can tell, it makes the Avengers logo. I love that. I always love stuff like that. Good spine, Marvel. Hope they keep that for the reprint. Here is the back of the book. Storytelling on an epic scale, and yeah, that is very, very accurate. Alright, and this omnibus collects Avengers 1 through 23, New Avengers 1 through 12, the free comic book day Infinity issue, Infinity 1 through 6, Infinity Against the Tide 1 and 2, Astonishing Tales Mojo World 1 through 6, and material from Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu number 1. I want to mention right away that while I'm not extremely well versed in Avengers runs, this is definitely my favorite, and maybe it's because Hickman's style and attention to detail and scope really draw me into all of his books, but also the narrative here is just super engaging as well. And if your goal is to read through Hickman's entire arc throughout Marvel, then this book is what comes right after his Fantastic Four run, which is also amazing by the way, and you should definitely check it out. And then this omnibus and the volume 2 lead right into his Secret Wars, which is an event that's becoming a bit of a hot topic with the announcement of the new Avengers movies. And before we really get into the details of this run, I do want to say that I read this originally way back when I was in college about 4 or 5 years ago, and I wasn't as intimately familiar with the Marvel universe as I am now. I had never read any X-Men books before, so any mutants in here, I did not know much about them, or just a ton of other concepts in Marvel and a ton of characters, so there was a lot that I originally missed, and I don't think the run is very new reader friendly per se. That also should be a testament to its writing though, because like I said, I felt like I missed a lot of stuff when I first read it, but I still really enjoyed it. The bits of it and the characterizations that I did understand, of course, but reading this again with my newfound Marvel knowledge, it was even better. But why is that? What's the deal? What are we avenging this go around? Well, there's a lot of plots that are going on that are interconnected or later become interconnected. Like I alluded to, there's some complexity to this read, but the main threat the Avengers are dealing with throughout the course of this run is that the Illuminati, and then eventually everyone else as they get wrapped up into it, are attempting to stave off the annihilation of not only our universe, but all universes. And this is the threat of the incursions, guys. And that is universes in the multiverse colliding into each other, and this unravels in a super satisfying way. We get to see them discover incursions and then start creating methodology and technology for figuring out when and where an incursion is going to occur, and a problem they have to solve also is that only one universe can make it out of an incursion. So are our heroes going to sacrifice an entire other universe of life to save ours? Well, you can find that out in here, but I love the fact that we get a lot of glimpses of other hero groups across the multiverse that our Avengers end up having to interact with. And also a kind of funny but important part of the plot that emphasizes the arrogance of the Illuminati is that because they're more morally dubious than Captain America, the Illuminati doesn't think he'd agree with their methods, so they mess with him, they keep him out of the loop, and they preoccupy him with other Avenger business. And they have this point of, we have to get bigger, that is kind of beat into our brains in this run, because the idea is that there are an insane amount of threats encroaching from every corner of the Marvel universe, and our heroes really need to be prepared, and that's why in this run we get the Avengers that the movies have popularized, but then also a lot more joining the team, like Shang-Chi, Sunspot, and Cannonball to name a few. It is just this massive Avengers roster, probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest we've ever had. There's probably like 20 or 30 Avengers in here, and then you're probably wondering with that, well, how does Hickman balance that out? How does he do with the characters? And I think Hickman has kind of always been probably more a plot guy first, then characters second. That being said, I don't think he does anything bad with the characters. I really enjoy a lot of the characterizations in this book, and the way that kind of breaks down in this is that we'll get like 5 characters in one little arc of the book, and then 5 other characters in another arc, and so on and so forth. You'll probably get a little frustrated with the Illuminati in this book just based off the blind confidence they have when they're making their decisions and plans for dealing with these threats, but also that's probably my favorite part of the book, right next to the Infinity event that we get in here too, which just felt like a super awesome culmination of this first omnibus here. And if you're somebody who's going to be reading this for the first time and you get to the Infinity portion of this book, you'll probably be able to tell if you've watched the MCU Avengers Infinity War movie that it seems like they took a lot of inspiration from this 6-issue event here. And this is where we get some awesome highlight moments of the Black Order, which again was in the Infinity War movie, and that's the team that is Ebony Maw and Midnight Proxima and those bad guys who are working for Thanos. And they fight the Avengers here, and then eventually Thanos comes, and they all fight, and there's Thane, who's related to Thanos, and it's wild and fun, and it's like the dessert of this omnibus after we had such a nice, savory, filling meal. By the way, this run also has probably my favorite characterization, or at least moments, of Thor. I really like the way Hickman writes Thor, and we get one of the best Thor moments ever in here, and that is when they're dealing with the Builders, who are this ancient race who have been an imposing threat for the Avengers throughout the course of this book. And they send Thor in to do a sort of negotiation with these guys, and it is just such an epic moment that I hope you are able to read and witness for yourself. And as good as this book is, I like Omnibus Volume 2 even better. I really think it sticks the landing, and it just feels like there's so much more of a payoff. So guys, let me know if you're going to pick this one up. If you have read it before, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Obviously, I really enjoyed it, and I want to know if you did too. And with that, have a great rest of your day, and thank you so much. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because when it comes to this channel, we've got to get bigger. Bit of a Hickman reference for you there. Bit of a Hickman reference.